package. Been waiting since fucking last Saturday. It's supposed to be 2 to 3 day shipping on it to the week. A couple days. But this is just a wire harness for a 2-step that I have from N2MB Racing, and pretty much it cuts ignition and it adds launch control and flat foot shifting. I have the actual WOT box downstairs in the car, but we're gonna try and get this in the car today. I have all my wiring stuff from my toolbox in my car too, so it looks like a bunch of wires, but it's only 6. You have ground, clutch, you have throttle position, you have RPM signal, and then coil power, input and output, and that's it. And then everything is programmable through a laptop. You can change the RPMs that the launch control is set at, and I'll show you guys that program once I get it all installed. But it's hot as hell, but we're gonna do this because I've been waiting a week. So getting started, pulling the wiring from under the whatever the fuck these called, wiper covers. What we're looking for in here is the main positive that goes to all the coil packs. Pretty much what we're doing is we're adding that wiring between the power that's coming in to the coils and sending it to the WOT box and then coming back out. So I know it's a green wire, but I have to take this whole thing apart and then get myself some room to work and do all the wiring. So I'll get this pulled out and then I'll come back. So you can see this is the, after you take off the beauty panel right here, your coils are laid out and you can see the wire harness for them. For these 328s, I guess it's a wire harness separate from the whole rest of the thing. The 325, I believe the wiring goes up and then it comes through here and runs back up back into here. But pretty much this kind of makes it a little bit easier because you know where the wiring's coming from. So you just follow this. This came out from here, and you're just following this. So it's pretty much going to be in this harness. It's going to be something in there. I'll pull it apart and see which ones they are, and I'll show you guys what to do. So the easiest way to find out where the common power is for these coils is tearing apart the actual harness, this cover. Just pull it off, and then I peeled back one of the coils, and they're going to be all the same. So you can see the power is the green, which is number 15 on the coil. They're all the same. So pretty much I'm tapping into this green. So I'm going to tear apart this side of the harness and see what pin it is. And then I'll show you guys from there.
We got a fan. You don't see that? That's a fan.
They're like, y'all ain't doing all the changes. Nope. Alright, we cool. So currently I'm trying to fish the wire through because I decided I'm gonna have the WOT box mounted inside, probably in that ashtray, or I'm not sure exactly where yet, but it's gonna be in here. That way I can connect the laptop and change the settings on it while I'm still in the car, because before I had it mounted where the computer is, and I had just the USB cable coming out of there, and I'd have to fucking put my laptop there and do the tuning, but I don't want to deal with that. I want to be able to do it from inside. So fishing the wires through, this wire is for those fans that I wired up yesterday, and so I'm just gonna go through the same hole. Can't really see up there right now, but I'm gonna go through the same one, fish the lines through, and I'll show you guys the wiring for the clutch pedal under here, and then I'm gonna wire the whole throttle position, coil input and coil output, and the RPM signal to a ground on an injector. There's a few different methods you can use for the tach signal. but I'll show you which one worked for me.
Alright, so I got the wiring pulled through. It's behind here. There's a grommet for the, I believe it's for the feed for the clutch master cylinder. I just went through that grommet, made an extra hole. I have 2 pairs of wires going through there. So I ran it through, it comes up behind the booster, and then it comes up back there. And I fed it through here, so it looks factory, and I'm going to push it back, you won't be able to see anything. And then it goes through here, and this is all going to be covered up, so you're not going to see any of this.
So now that I have all the extra wire here, I'm going to try and pull all the extra wiring back through the car so I have it under there. I don't want to cut this wiring because I might reuse it in another car, who knows. But that harness was 15, 16 bucks, so I'd rather try and avoid spending that the next time. So as of right now, I'm gonna go through these pins and figure out which one is the positive for the coils, and that comes out in one of these wires. More than likely is going to be this green one right here. Pretty sure that's going to be it, but we'll double check. And then I'm going to find injector ground through here, throttle position, and then we'll be set to get it started. At least be able to drive it without having this interfering with it. Because once I cut it, I'm going to have to wire it in completely and then have the actual WOT box plugged in for it to run. So to find out which wire is actually the one that's going to be feeding power, on this harness we found out it was pin number 1. So pin number 1 was, I believe, this one here. So we just try to match it up with the plug, and that should be here. Actually, they're numbered. They're really tiny. And then this should make a noise when I go through there.
Key has to be on, don't it?
No. There it is right there. So that's how you know that's the right wire. So it was that one that I said. So this looks like it actually goes back to the main harness. So I think I'm just gonna pull this back, cut it, and then solder it right there. So we'll do that right now.
Look at that. Everybody likes cats, right? That's a dirty ass motherfucking cat shirt.
So got this is red. Red is to the red is power from the computer, and that goes to the WOT box, and then the output from the WOT box to the coils is the orange. You can see the orange goes through here, and then that comes down to this plug, and this plug will power the coils.
First attempt, this fool's forgot to plug in some shit.
You gotta plug in the coils. I'm just trying to start it just to make sure that my wiring to my coils is fine. Backwards, it won't run. Alright, so we got the coils wired up already, as you guys saw. And I was looking for 2 signals here. I was looking for RPM signal and throttle position, because I don't want to run the wire to the actual sensor and then run the other wire to the camshaft. I don't want to do that. I'd rather have it tucked and clean wiring. So I went on Google and I looked up the pin out. I put the yellow wire on the crank position sensor signal, and I put this one for the throttle position sensor. I looked and found out which wire was which one, and I just spliced it. I didn't solder it because I want to make sure that I was getting the right signals. And I'll show you guys what I was getting. So I just clicked read on this, and then everything comes up as it's programmed to the actual WOT box. So my settings right now, just to test it because I don't want to be loud, are set at 1000, and I put ignition signal was the RPM source because it's from the crank sensor. Also, I was trying it out, but it wasn't holding it down. Like the motor seemed to like accelerate past the RPM that I set it at. And I saw that this was at 4. That's the number of cylinders. I changed that to 6, and then I you click right when you just want to set that on the actual WOT box. So you guys can see that, like, what I mean, that it like overpowers the 2-step. Like, I have it set at 1,000 and it's going up to 2. So we were really confused about it, and I'm looking around trying to find something that's not set right, and I come down here and my RPMs, apparently when you click read, that's the actual live data, it'll come up what it's at. So right now I'm at like 700, if that. Read 83,102 RPM.
Really, nigga?
Yeah, that tells me that that signal for my crank is not a good signal for this. I got it switched over for the yellow wire going to pin number 6 on the ECU. Put it up. I gotta start the car. Make sure it's in neutral still. I'm gonna click read, and my RPMs are 805. So my RPMs are set now. So hopefully, if I rev it, it should stay at 1,000.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Complete. Still doing it. Okay, so I found another weird thing. I was checking, maybe my TPS wasn't getting the right signal. Right now I have it let go, so I'm gonna refresh it. It's at 0 and it's up. That's correct. And then when I go and floor it, I'm completely 100% full throttle right now, and I'm gonna click refresh. It says about 5 volts down, but if I click it again, like you can see that it varies. It goes all the way down to 2 volts, I've seen. So I'm thinking maybe I need to get a better TPS signal. Look, see, it went down all the way to 1.8, and I'm still fully floored, and it should be refreshing live data. So I'm gonna try and figure out if that's a good TPS signal. What a motherfucker! So I just got done changing it, and came over here, turned on the ignition, and I'm holding the throttle all the way down, reading. And so far I've been checking it, it's pretty consistent, staying at 4.28 and 9 with the car off. So yeah, I think I'm happy with that, with it. But it's at 1,000 and it's been holding. It's not going past anymore, so I'm just gonna wrap up the wiring and then set it after, maybe later tonight at the car meet while there's everybody else making noise. That way I can tune it without bothering anybody. So pretty much, if you guys did want to wire this yourselves, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you guys what pin it was. Pin number 6 is the ignition signal for the RPM signal. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 12 is a black one. So I'm just gonna solder this together and then wrap it with tape and then tuck it all. I'm actually gonna, before I attach it, I'm gonna fish it through the whole harness, make it look original. Update on Chris's 323 M3.
Damn, throw me underneath the bus and shit. We got a fresh ass radiator.
Of course, our sponsor came through.
Yeah, sponsor came through. I had to dish out a little bit of money, but it was a little bit of money for it was a 3-year warranty. I'm down with it, but it's the right one. All I gotta do is just put it in the car.
And if this food blows his motor, that's going in mine because my shit's fucked up. Alright, so I've got all the wiring tucked back away. You see this is all put back together. This is screwed back together. This covers back on the heat shield. Starts up like nothing, like you can't even tell it has anything.